Hey there, so today we're doing a tonal study. What's a tonal study? A tonal study is when you look at the tones in, in a painting or a scene. So I'm not looking for colors, I'm looking for shades of gray. How's that? And it allows you to get almost a pre-painting, so you practice the painting. So it's just a study in grays of the different tones within your painting, looking for the lightest, the middle tones, and the darkest. So let's get started. Okay, so what's intended to be a quick video, I'm going to try to create something from this photograph that I took. First step being sketching it. So what I want to do with this today is a tonal study. Not an actual painting, really, just a study as to where I might want to go with tones. And if I look at this image, I want to start with the lightest. The lightest is this background here, right? And then this goes from a blue into yellow, almost greenish. So I would call this area right here the lightest. And this water is also very light. So I'm just going to pull, this is all, like I said, it's a study, shadow tone study. So I want to get a very light gray wash. I'm just going to run across the whole back. And this is what I'm calling my light wash. I did a bad thing. I'm working on dry paper. So now I'm trying to put some of the middle tones in, and the leaves have a very distinct texture to them. So I don't want to ignore that texture when placing in this information, especially up close, right? To try to add depth into the painting, you want the things that are close to be sharp. And this stone here, which in Alright, so everything's dried up. And I'm just going to go back and put... Now, what I normally would be doing is putting in the foreground pieces with more detail, which I will put a couple of those in, but there's a lot of background, just really small lines of trees, and I'll bring up some of the tones. So this is kind of putting in some details, putting in some darker pieces. Right, so how well did the tonal study work? I would have to say it's a great success. I'm not saying my painting was a great success. It's okay, right? But what it allowed for, which I thought was really useful, was to practice, right? So I can start to play with techniques, with what I might want to do. For these are all like leaves in this foreground area. I want these leaves obviously to be clearer than these leaves in the background. So we get to play with textures. I get to play with different techniques, right, for brush stroke to get the rocks to shadow the shadow side. Some of them are stronger than others, right? Same thing, I got to practice how to make some of the leaves, I guess you would say, in the trees in the background. They were all evergreens, so they're pine needles technically, but whatever. I think it was really, really worthwhile. It was worthwhile to do a pre of the painting, but it was even more worthwhile for me to start to understand where I want to connect, like the lights, right, and the middle tones, and then some of the darker tones, and let them all sort of be part of this painting. It was a great little exercise, and it's a great way to use up scrap paper, at least in my world. All right, thanks, and we'll see you later.